The reasonable maximum temperature of the ATF or automatic transmission fluid may differ from one model to another, but the rule of thumb is anything that's higher than 220 degrees Fahrenheit or 105 degrees Celsius is too much. The temperature of your ATF may exceed this level for a short period of time because the transmission temperature is not as stable as the engine temperature. Engine has a tricky cooling system with the thermostat and with the big radiator, and it can cool itself when it needs to, and the temperature is pretty stable. But the transmission doesn't have this enhanced cooling system, so the temperature in the transmission is not stable. It can fluctuate depending on on what your transmission is doing right now. But anyway, if you see something like 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius, it means that the transmission is overheating. And when your automatic transmission is overheating, the fluid is degrading pretty fast. And it means that the lifespan of this transmission will be shorter than you expect. But one important thing you should know is that not all automatic transmissions have temperature sensors. And a lot of vehicles will register the high temperature in an automatic transmission relying on absolutely different criteria, like for example slipping in the transmission. When something slips, when the torque converter doesn't work properly and it slips when the transmission is shifting, it means that the transmission is overheated, and the brain of your transmission may even throw the codes that mean transmission overheating, but it doesn't mean that it actually overheats. And also there is one more problem. The sensors, even if your transmission is equipped with these temperature sensors, they are not always precise. So there is one simple thing that you may do to check the actual temperature in your transmission. You need to drive your car till it heats properly, so till it's heated, and maybe you get this warning if you get it, and you use the OBD2 scanner to see what kind of transmission ATF fluid temperature is now registered in your car, if it's registered. And after that you take a temperature gun, which is a thermometer that measures the temperature of any surface, and you measure the temperature of the surface of the transmission fluid pan. So the temperature of the pan will be the actual temperature of your transmission, and you now compare the figures that you get, and you understand whether it's a problem with the sensor, with the transmission brain, or maybe there is no problem at all and transmission is not overheating. Or you will understand that it's overheating if the pan is like 300 degrees Fahrenheit now. For a lot of transmissions that typically overheat, there are kits that you can easily install in your car. Like for example, the Chevy Cruze had this automatic transmission issues. The transmission was overheating and it started punching all the time. And so there are kits with tubes and radiators that you can easily install in your transmission in your car, and the transmission will stop overheating, will work smoothly, and will live much longer. Also, you may need to know that the transmission may overheat quite badly if the fluid is not good. For example, the viscosity of that fluid is not proper, and in this case it may overheat because it will affect the torque converter, and actually all parts of the transmission will be affected by the wrong fluid. So maybe change of fluid is one of the ways to solve the problem. And also the transmissions will overheat when you overload them. For example, you tow too much weight in your car, or you exceed the allowed payload in your vehicle. In these cases, the transmission will typically overheat, and the lifespan of that transmission will be reduced if you do it pretty often.